Hello, fifth grade. Today is the day that you have your math project, the thing that we've been practicing all those fractions for. You are going to choose a recipe with your family, at least 4 ingredients long. It can be longer, but it does not have to be. Find that recipe and then convert it. Either make half the recipe, double the recipe, make 3/4 of the recipe, whatever number you want to use, as long as it's a fraction that we're increasing it by. So if you're going to choose to increase the recipe, maybe choose 1.5 times of that recipe. This is really just so that you can convert the recipe for later use using fractions. Now, if your recipe calls for 1.5 cups of something, I'll allow you to just double or halve it because you already have that mixed number. I'm going to give you an example of a recipe that is also on the lesson plan today. Let me pull up my white screen. So I chose a recipe that is for 4 ingredient peanut butter cookies. Honestly, we are just going to be converting one number because when I picked it, I didn't realize that it calls for 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 large egg, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So I decided that I wanted to make 1.5 batches of these cookies. So I would need to multiply all the ingredients by 1.5. So if you think about it, we have 1 cup of sugar times 1.5 batches, okay? So if we leave the word out, we would just say 1 times 1.5. Remember, before we can start multiplying, we need to convert our mixed number into an improper fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more would be 3. So we have 3/2 times 1/1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. We are going to simplify this. If you need to write it this way, remember, 2 goes into 3 one time. We have 1 left over. So our whole number is 1. Our numerator is 1. And our denominator is 2. We need 1.5 cups of sugar. And that is our answer. We will need 1.5 cups of peanut butter, 1.5 large eggs. Not sure how we'd split an egg in half, but it's for the math purposes. And 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla if we were going to make 1.5 times this recipe. What if we decided that we shouldn't be eating all those cookies and we're going to make half of the recipe? You would take that same 1 cup of sugar times 1/2. If we divided it by 1/2, we would end up saying we needed 2 cups of sugar, and that would be really doubling the recipe. So we don't want to do that. So make sure that you're choosing the thing that makes sense. And I'll make sure that you can check for that at the end of our calculation here. So we have 1 times 1/2. First thing we want to do is make that 1 a fraction. I'm just going to draw a line and cheat a little bit here. I'm going to erase it since it is just the number 1. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 times 2 equals 2, which means we need 1/2 cup of sugar. We know that this makes sense because we said we were making half of the recipe, and 1/2 is less than 1. So that makes sense. If we had done it wrong, because a lot of people think that if you're going to have the recipe, you would say 1 divided by 1/2. We know that we would end up flipping that and getting 2 cups. If we were making less cookies, we would know that this needing 2 cups would not make sense. So you don't want to make that mistake. So when you are converting your recipes, make sure that your answer makes sense to you. If you're increasing the amount of cookies you're going to make, you want to make sure that you're using more ingredients. If you are having your recipe, you want to make sure you're using less ingredients. So make sure you pay attention to that, okay, guys? All right, so go ahead with your parents, look for a recipe, either in a cookbook at home, or you can Google recipes. What I did was I Googled 4-ingredient recipes with peanut butter because I happen to have some, and that's what came up. If your mom wants to make chicken for dinner, you can Google 4-ingredient recipes using chicken, and you might have all the supplies you need. And maybe you and mom and dad can cook the recipe that you've converted for your family. Okay? Have fun with it, enjoy it. I can't wait to see the recipes you guys include because, quite frankly, I need some ideas for dinner that are quick and easy for my family because I spend a lot of time at my computer lately. Too much time at my computer. I think working from home and teaching virtually is actually harder than going into the classroom and seeing all your faces. So I'm hoping we get back to normal soon so I can get back to normal soon and eat something that doesn't come out of a box or a can. All right, friends, have a great weekend. Remember, all your assignments from this week are due on Monday. If you had a problem keeping up with those assignments, just have your parents email us if you can't get them done by Monday. We are being very understanding. We know there's been internet issues, computer issues, reasons why things have gotten behind, and we're going to be a little bit more lenient this week and knowing that you've had all those obstacles. All right, guys, have fun looking for those recipes. Extra credit if you actually try them out and show me a picture of you eating the recipe you converted. And that is all. Have a great day. Bye.